What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down something with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'm also going to break down some very important things involving the economic calendar, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Webull link. If you deposit any amount of money, you're guaranteed 12 free stocks. If you deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 in total. And deposit $25,000 more, you're guaranteed 75. The offer ends very soon in just a couple of weeks from now. Anyways, now let's talk about the market. So, as you guys could tell, the market's slowing down a little bit so far. We're approaching some very, very key levels. I think SPY has a target of about 579 before we see some buyers attempt to step in. And if that level fails us, we're looking for the mid 570s. Now, this is a small dip as we have a gap to fill below, and there's a very good chance we dip a little bit more. However, just because you're dipping for now does not guarantee the market's about to see a much bigger drop quite yet because of something else that's developing. So I want to talk about what that is. So just as a reminder, today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. There's not really much data coming out. We just have Kugler and Bostic giving some speeches and nothing else that's too crazy. However, when it comes to SPY, I just want to mention that so far this has been declining quite a bit. And when you zoom out like this, you could see that on the 4-hour time frame, we have a very, very nice looking rising wedge-like structure. Now, what happened was we essentially just tried to break past it yesterday only to come back into it. So it's still valid, at least technically speaking. And we haven't really broken through the wedge to turn really bearish yet. So if we ended up losing that support and this ended up seeing a breakout, that would lead to at least a lot more downside. As of right now, that has not happened. So we're not officially extremely bearish. I still think we could dip a little bit more, but we're not ready quite yet. So with that being said, what do I see from the market from this point on? The answer is that right now, we're looking at some interesting ranges. We're going to be looking at this resistance around this 582 area. Our support to watch for is at 580 and then 579.03. If 579.03 fails us, this could easily dip down to 577, then 575 below that, which is where we happen to have this very, very key support right over here. We have this support at this trend line. So if that holds, we're looking for a bounce off the support to rebound. And if this breaks, we're looking for a much bigger drop. The 4-hour does look a little bit weaker, so be careful with the way that this is dipping. I think the odds favor 579 being tested. Then we'll see if it bounces from there or not. But for now, we look a little bit more bearish for the short term. Once again, it's just a short-term projection I'm giving you. I am not saying the market's crashing right now. This is just a small dip. And let me just clarify that. We could dip a little bit more. For us to turn a lot more bearish, you want to see us lose 575 or below, and then we're going to turn more bearish if we start losing this wedge. So just keep that in mind. We're not officially there yet, but we're getting closer, so we'll have to wait and see. As far as ES goes, okay, we have some key levels to watch for. The first level that's being tested is 5870, the 20 EMA. If that fails us, we're looking for 58 50 followed by 5830 is our supports. We have resistance around this 5900 area. My gut tells me we might see some buyers attempt to defend this before it tips a little bit more. I think we could get closer to about 5850 before we see an attempt to rebound. But that's what my target is for the time being, so make sure you watch these levels. For Nvidia has 133.57 as our resistance and 129 as our main support. We're kind of stuck in the middle within this range. If we lose 129, we're looking for a dip all the way down towards the 125 area. If we lose 129, that is, and if we manage to break past something very interesting, we could try to get back up to about 133. So what's interesting about Nvidia is the fact that we had this tough resistance we were talking about for the last few days between 138 and then 140. So once we hit that, we failed to really hold up, and there was still that risk of like the downside that kind of like came from there. So if this fails, if 129 fails, I think that this is going to likely dip a lot lower. As far as Bitcoin goes, I think that this is once again at risk. There's a bearish divergence right over here. So if this fails, we're looking for about the 65,000 area. For a few more, like NQ has a bearish divergence as well. I think that if 20,350 is like not met, there's a risk of this dipping to about 20,200. So be very mindful of that. I think that that's going to be very important. And then for the QQQ, it's the same thing. Basically, if 492 is not broken, we're looking for 488 as our potential target. So I think there's a risk of that as well. And then besides that, I think that we're seeing the same thing developing right over here. There's also a divergence. Notice that we had this tough resistance around this 238 area. because that was not able to break, there's a risk of this dipping back down towards like 230 flat. I could see this dipping a little bit more before it attempts to rebound. And the same thing is kind of like going on with Tesla. So this could attempt to rebound tomorrow morning, but then I still see a risk of it dipping as well. But overall, not too bad. With that said, I probably have to get going now. Thank you all for listening, and peace out.